waiting all year to be here, to ride the wave of the water frontier. The ocean's warm and the tunes are chill. We'll stand here till we get our fill. We're working hard and we're playing hard too. We're gonna do what we gotta do. Time to go big or go home. And I ain't going home, 'cause summer's on. And I'll be living on the beach. Left my shoes and all my troubles far away. 'Cause summer's on. The ocean's underneath my feet. And if the sun is out, I'll ride the waves all day. Everything we've ever wanted's right here. Don't wanna blink just to fight the fear that our time will pass way too fast. And I'll be dreaming of the beach another year. We're gonna have the time of our lives. Days and nights with the sun in our eyes. And a wild tide under bluest skies, tearing up the shoreline. 'Cause summer's on. And I'll be living on the beach. Left my shoes and all my troubles far away. Summer's on. The ocean's underneath my feet. And if the sun is out, I'll ride the waves all day. We're gonna ride on, and I'll be living on the beach. The summer's on, and I'll be living on the beach. Left my shoes and all my troubles far away. 'Cause summer's on. The ocean's underneath my feet. And if the sun is out, I'll ride the waves all day.
Yeah, I wish we were all saying that when I had turned on all of our mics. That would have been great.
Oh,
But we're here now. Why is my screen so low? Hold on a second. It's not that the
oh,
screen
I'm
is
not
low.
logged into Twitch, so I'm being forced an ad that I don't deserve.
Ah, ah. That subscription's doing you no service if you're not logged in.
Yeah,
But hey,
what's even the point?
but what is the point? And then I just got a notification that they're changing their payout systems here on Twitch. So now I'm just confused, and I barely get money here anyways. It's fine. This is just for me.
Yeah,
This is for me, and so that way I have a video record of what the hell my friends got up to in the weekend.
honestly, having an archive of the campaign is so interesting,
Isn't it?
Like, it is such a like weird way to experience this game.
It's
Is
even
it?
it's even better for me because I stopped taking notes. I have legitimately stopped taking notes, and I just rewatch the episode in the background
Yeah.
while I'm doing literally everything else, like prepping for the next session.
No, real
Yeah.
talk, I also stopped taking notes, but like this game sticks in my head well enough that I don't need them that much these days.
I feel like that speaks a lot to us as both players and a DM and the story we're telling collectively when
Yeah.
we are gone for 6 days to 6 or 7 days, maybe even 2 weeks at a time on average, and we still retain most of the knowledge from the previous session.
I take notes of mostly people's names and potential tasks because my brain has COVID still.
Oof, I feel that.
And I'm still going to have COVID brain for a very long time.
Oh, it's a bummer. But hey, you know what? We should probably do our intros. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here once again. My name is Akan. I'm the Turtle VTuber here. I will be your humble dungeon master for this evening. This is episode 48 of our homebrew campaign, Sand and Shadow, a set in the desert kingdom of Abukanasta. And with me are my three fabulous investigators. Say hi, investigators.
Hello.
Hello.
I figured this is a lot easier for you guys because you guys keep fumbling the damn bag every time I give it to you.
Not every time.
It's mostly me.
Yeah, Frog.
Wow.
I take full
Get
blame.
it together, god dang.
Listen, it's like right here, like when we have four players, it's right there in the middle. Two people are fumbling the ball, but we still make it to the end zone, all right?
Yeah.
Where we last left off, you guys had been teleported out of Dr. Fornius Colville's laboratory and made it yourself back into the desert sands of Albucanasta, where you were randomly teleported to Anwa's Passage. What happened to my map?
I ate it.
Stop eating my maps!
I needed
Yeah.
fiber.
No! Stop doing that. There it is, Anwa's Passage.
Fine.
Here we go. Listen, I'll give you your... Listen, I will get the 3-ring binder for you later, okay?
Okay. Do you
can-
promise?
Yes, it will even have the cool little clippy bit where you press on both sides at the end of the spine, so that way you can have all the paper loaded in pre-rendered.
Oh, that'll be lovely.
So you have a little toy.
I'm holding you to it.
Yeah, sure. Autism check. Go. So you guys arrived at Anwa's Passage, a sort of river. It's like it's less of a city but bigger than a village. It's a town. This river centric town on the northern half of the desert sands of Abucanasta, next to the floating temple, a sacred site where the 12 divinities of Abucanasta are worshipped freely. Kind of taking this opportunity to just breathe and just have some time to just relax and enjoy yourselves, you indulged in the local cuisine, where you all discovered that I have created the hottest thing since sliced bread, and and then on the next day, you made your way up to the floating temple to seek answers, to figure something out, and you learned through the high priestess, a lizard folk priestess named Gazes at Stars. You learned that the 12 divinities One, are somewhat interconnected with one another, but two, you learned that the Golion is not inherently an evil god, and in fact, he is a god of labor and the land, and that the cult is trying to present him as an evil god for whatever reason. Squarb had been given a I guess divine guidance is the best way to put it. He has been set forth to now take on a pilgrimage from Anwa's Passage all the way down to Anwa's Retreat, which is at the southern end of Abu Kanasta, past the Scar. And he will have to make a prayer to the Temple of the Sun. As a way, just a bit of a pilgrimage, yeah, as a way to show his thanks to the crocodile goddess of protection and the waters, Anwa Ballora. At least that's what he wishes to do, is to give her thanks. All of this happens while Serena was having a divine mixer. Yeah, let's go with a divine mixer, I guess is a good way of putting it. Where six of the divine beings, so half of the divinity, had showed up to speak to you because you asked a very broad question, and everybody had a piece. But yeah, so you came to the realization that to be chosen by Selene, the one who ferries the dead, is something that is very rare that happens, and that he only does so when balance needs to be restored. Though he was very vague on how to restore the balance. He just knows that he needed you to do it. And so that's why you have the powers that you do.
Yep.
And then I believe that's where we left off. You guys were in the temple with this revelation, this intense amount of knowledge.
That is the last thing I recall, is the temple.
So now I leave it up to you. What do you wish to do?
Squarb's gonna check back in with everybody as soon as he's done with his revelation from Anwa Ballora. Just make sure everyone else is doing alright.
I think Violet and I are still kind of recovering from trying to reach Golion and
Oh my god, I am so
discovering-
sorry. I completely forgot one very important detail. Violet had a moment where, in an attempt to pray to seek guidance from Golion, as now you understand him, that she was unable to make contact and was able to, and had a divine vision of the interpretation that you see from the temple. He's being held prisoner of some kind. Sorry, that was the big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the big thing I completely forgot about.
A big revelation.
Yeah. I think Serena is like kind of shaking with a little bit of anger right now. Because this whole revelation means that her tribe, as well as many other tribes, as well as her being taken over and her core removed and all that, was done by people and not a god. And now she's like, oh, I can physically punch this person in the face. So she has a target. A vague target, but a target now. I think she'll look at, gazes at stars and be like, I don't suppose you have any knowledge on the cult.
She kind of looks at the three of you, her eyes darting back and forth. No. The goings on of the world beyond the temple is beyond our purview, sadly.
I see. I think. You know what? Do you have like communications with other places of worship?
We send correspondences when we can, but we don't often congregate, if that's what you mean.
Mm, I think it would be good if we got word specifically from here, because you're kind of like very holy, like respected God place. Sorry, I'm still reeling a bit. I think if we got word from here saying the cult is essentially running a propaganda campaign to force Golion to change, as I understand it anyway. Uh, and we need to resist that as best we can by remembering who Golion actually is and try to get that in the public eye as much as possible. That would be a very good start to what we need to do.
Testimony to his original nature.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, would you like me to loan you one of our tomes, or like send out a missive? I apologize. I don't quite understand what you're asking of me.
I know you're high priestess who probably don't have that much pull within like the whole country religion thing. I don't know what you're like what specifically you can do, but just I don't know how to fucking put this. So kind of look to you guys like help.
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, like the floating temple is like real important place, but isn't like incredibly influential as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe this isn't the best place to look. I'm sorry. I There's a lot going through my mind right now that I'm trying to deal with.
I understand. If you would like, we could leave you alone and leave you to your prayers, or
Serena shakes her head and goes to stand up. No, that's. I'm pretty sure that that part's done for now. Unless you two would like to make more prayers.
No,
No?
Okay. I think we should get going. Thank you for
Probably.
thank you for everything, Cases Stars.
of course. If you have need for more spiritual guidance, the temple is always open to you.
Thank you.
And I do apologize. My stomach is acting up. I will be right back.
Okay.
our next destination is Cave of the Departed, right?
I believe so, yeah, and that's a couple days out.
We need some form of fast travel.
We really do. Ugh. I have not felt this kind of anger in a very long time.
Yeah?
Although, did get useful information about the sword, I
Well, that's
suppose,
good.
Yeah.
and that it's just possessed by a vile spirit and not an aspect of Golion himself.
Well, hey,
So it might be easier to cleanse now. Who knows?
I suppose we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Are we, after the Cave of the Departed, are we going on your pilgrimage, Scorp?
No, we
No?
have other things to do first. If
Okay.
I have time to take care of my pilgrimage while we're working on those other things, then absolutely, but not otherwise.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does the pilgrimage like whole thing on foot all the way from one side to the other, or like?
I I mean, I don't actually know. All I know is that this is the path that Anwa Ballora took herself.
So probably just generally that's how pilgrimages work is you go on foot.
I was just thinking like maybe we could call the prince and like ask for a teleport back, right?
You guys have contact with the prince.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
When did
Yeah,
this
since
happen? Wait, what?
yeah, it's been a while actually since we right after we got back from the Feywild. Um you know about the Feywild adventure, right?
Yeah, you guys filled me in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that
Oh yeah.
adventure, we contacted the merchant prince to help us. We were asked to help establish trade between the Feywilds and here.
Oh, I see.
And
We
so part
did.
of that is now we are like directly in communication with the merchant prince of Blasphatan.
Aww.
Who is surprisingly invested in making, well, not surprisingly, but who is also quite invested in making sure that the stuff that's going down doesn't.
I see. Well, you guys probably should inform them about this. Maybe
Yeah.
they can help with the propaganda, anti-propaganda thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Within Blasphatan. I don't know how much influence they have outside of it.
All right, thank you so
And-
much. All right. So as you leave the floating temple, where do you wish to go? Or what's your next move?
Well, we're going back to Alma's Passage.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then are we gonna immediately head off towards the Cave of the Departed, or do we have other stuff we want?
Well, what time? Well, like, how long has it been? I know
Uh,
the boat trip took a couple hours, but
Yeah, so the boat trip took a couple hours. It's just becoming midday by the time you guys finish your time here at the floating temple. So
Okay.
if you want to make your way back to Alma's Passage, it would probably be about midday.
Hmm.
And it isn't really practical to go to the Cave of the Departed from the floating temple, right?
Yeah, no, the topography of the floating temple is just it's too difficult of a journey to reasonably do it just to try to save time. It's easier just to go from Alma's Passage and just take a couple days travel by foot.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe the dead will have some insight on everything going on, but I think,
Maybe.
yeah. But yeah, regroup at the passage, and either we get some scrumptious food again and stay another night because we did pay for 2 nights, and then head out in the morning.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, so you make your way back to Anwa's Passage via riverboat, and do you wish to be dropped off at your inn, or do you just wish to
Yeah,
like,
that's
spend some
fine.
time exploring again?
At the inn sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
fine.
I don't
Okay.
have anything else in particular that I'm interested in with the town right now.
Okay,
I
wonderful.
I think Serena mostly needs to rest after what happened.
Serena goes to sleep, eyes open that night. I'm afraid they're gonna come at me.
Violet always goes to sleep eyes open.
Not creepy. All right, so
At this point now.
no. All right, so then you three can record another long rest if you need one. Doubtful though it is. And
I used some of my knowledge from a past life
Oh yeah, you
charges.
oh yeah, you
so-
did. Yeah. Alrighty. Well then, you three awaken the next morning, with breakfast prepared for you once more, down below, and you begin to make your way, towards the cavern of the departed, or to the cave of the departed. Do you seek a guide, or do you wish to try to go about this on your own?
I think a guide would be best. I've never been here. I doubt you guys have been here.
Not that I
No.
can recall.
Okay. Then,
mean- I don't mind either way.
I'd rather not get lost and turn around and end up somewhere we didn't decide on going, and it's like a week later.
I will
Yeah.
point out the map that you have does have a well-known trail marked on it
Oh,
that
does it?
leads from that purple trail on the map.
Ah.
Yeah, that is the well-known trail that goes from Anwa's Passage, the cave to the cave of the departed and back.
Oh, then
So
fuck
you
it, we
guys
don't need any
shouldn't
guide.
technically be getting lost unless you decide to completely veer off course somehow.
Ah, okay, no guide then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Alrighty then.
We don't want
Uh,
to pay someone. We're adventurers. We hate spending money.
Oh yes. So how dare you spend coin?
How much did we spend on the spice?
Not a whole lot.
Like
if I
10
recall
silver.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's not a whole lot. This is a small town. Like their values are much lower than those of the cities.
That's right.
I mean, you spent, I think it was 2 gold for the whole time you were staying here,
Yeah.
and that included that was room and food. Yeah, so I think you're fine.
Okay.
All right, so then you set off on foot on your journey to the Cave of the Departed. The sun is low as it is still rising, and the cool breeze from the river still rests upon your skin as you all make your way out the effectively like the back of the village, effectively. And I would ask one of you to go ahead and roll me a d20 for the day's travel, because this is going to be a 2 days travel.
I did it last time, so somebody else gets to go first.
13.
13. Okay. Time to pull up the wondrous chart of random encounters.
I'm sure it won't be like bullets or something.
No, sky goblins.
Oh, damn it.
Fucking sky pirates send down their all goblins. No, that's for a different campaign setting. Okay. On a 13, that was Violet. Yeah, Violet, roll me a perception check.
15.
15. Violet, you see, as you three are walking along the path, you see just off the side a glint, just off the beaten path. That glint is very familiar, as it is the typical glint of metal being reflected in the light of the sun.
Well, that's odd. Well, maybe not. I'll go over and, just I'll poke it with my sword first, just to make sure.
Yeah, certainly. As you make your approach before you poke at it, you see what looks to be a large, like elongated blade, stabbed into the sand, and the hilt of the blade has been exposed. And as you reach over to poke at it, it does not react.
I'll take a new sword.
Certainly. Okay, so you just reach over and pull the sword.
Yep.
Okay, so you reach over and you just pull out the sword. You notice that half the sword is missing.
Hmm.
Oh well. Hmm.
And you notice that there seems to
Why
be a
is the
rusted
sword
edge along before the snapping point.
acid?
It looks like it's just rusted.
Rust
you're s-
monster again.
Not
know-
another one.
Listen, rust comes naturally. You know that, right? That's
Yeah.
called metal oxidation. That's a real
Yeah.
thing, fuckers.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I use science.
That's crazy.
In my fantasy RPGs, perish the thought.
Holy shift.
Shifting sands, Batman. What do we do about this?
Do you like sense anything from the sword, Violet?
No,
Hmm.
but it is odd just to be out here. I'll I'll is it reasonable to be like prestidigitation, like move sand about? Like searching for a little bit of another glint of metal?
Prestidigitation wouldn't be able
Second
to.
half of the sword.
Yes, prestidigitation wouldn't be able to do that. You're thinking more thaumaturgy.
I have
Yeah.
thaumaturgy, and I
Craft,
can make
so-
the harmless tremors that would make sand shift and then heavy stuff rise because
Okay.
that's how physics work.
That's how sifting works. So yeah, you could in theory.
I will
Okay.
do that.
Alrighty. So as you step forward and you tap your toes 3 times into the sand, ripples like water within the sand begin to undulate, and as it slowly begins to sift out, you see the other rusted half of the blade where it was snapped off begin to slowly emerge.
All right. I'll grab the non-sharp end of it if it's a one-sided sword, or I'll
It is
just be
a-
careful if it's
Yeah, it is a
Double.
single-edged blade.
okay.
Cool. As you bring the 2 pieces together, you have yourself what looks to be a 2-handed tall war.
I need to look that up.
A tall war is just a very unique like scimitar.
Okay, it's
Very
a type
cool.
of scimitar.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's technically more of a dual, like technically more of a saber, less of a scimitar, but it is a curved blade that was designed specifically more for slashing than it was
Got it.
for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I treat tall wars like scimitars and less like short swords.
Yeah. I see. Okay. There's nothing especially special about the sword.
As far as you can tell from the naked eye, no, it is a rusted, broken tall war.
I mean, if we got 10 minutes to spare, I could ritual cast detect magic. Do we really care?
We can do that later.
Okay.
I'll just keep it in a bag for now.
Right. You can just put in that you have a broken tall war, or 2 halves of a broken tall war in your inventory. But otherwise, a peaceful day's worth of travel.
And slowly, Violet's arsenal grows.
Yeah,
Slowly.
I realized that Violet's becoming that one character from another campaign that I was doing, where so we were using the Lasers and Liches third party stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when the Henshin was called the Gore Ranger, my brother and I were reading through it, and we thought it was really cool. where we're just like, you know, we don't really like the class upgrades too much, like all the stuff that happens, because it's all related more to being a Power Ranger than less of a just simple tokusatsu character.
Right.
So I homebrewed Common Rider transformations and upgrades, and one of my
Nice.
players, because he's a good player, really bad at like coming up with stories for his character, but he was really excited about this one because he had told me before that he wanted to try out the homebrew Magical Girl Magical Girl class that somebody created for 5th edition.
Hmm.
But I said, okay, I'll do you one better. Because you get what is called a Zord with an X instead of a Z, and you can make that. It has the default form of either being an animal, and then they also have a vehicle mode. And I'm like, you can make that a vehicle. What animal do you want? And he couldn't think of one, and I gave him a list of animals that he can choose. He chose panther, so he had a
Nice.
panther cycle, and he made a because we were doing we were doing a rip of Fantasy High, and so his class was the Gore Ranger at the time, and then the only stipulation with that class is that you have to be a civilian until you enter that classroom, where you immediately transform. So that way nobody knows your secret identity. And he played this high school girl who was obsessed with swords.
I see.
And I made a totally not Ninja Tools like mall store. Like, you remember that store in the malls where they like the ninja shop where they sold like
Yes.
knives and swords and shit like that? That was a real thing. And so at the end of that campaign, he ended up having 25 swords of various sizes and categories, stuff like that. Like he used 2 of them
Nice.
out of the 25 that he had. But he had them. That's what's important here. Yeah, I feel like Violet's slowly becoming that character where she's just
Violet is Violet is the embodiment of the joke where they say, we'll need you to get rid of all your
Oh.
weapons at the door.
yeah,
so
and then
she
just
pulls
starts
out pulls out the long sword of
Yeah.
certain death, pulls out the vicious longbow, pulls out a random battle axe, pulls out a dagger, pulls out a heavy crossbow,
She's that one
pulls
guy
out
from
2 halves of a
Sinbad.
broken sword, pulls lets like 10 poison bombs spill on the floor, and then another like 6 vials of poison.
By the time the party has to leave, Violet is about to drop the final weapon, and then Scorbin.
Oh, she has to take off the eye of the Jabberwock.
Yeah, Scorbin, Violet, or Scorbin, Serena just tap her on the shoulders. All right, we're getting out of here. And she goes, ugh, and she just grabs everything from the table and slides it off.
Yeah. Has to like get a bunch of bugs out of her hat or whatever.
Right? Like, oh, hold on, takes off hat, drops disguise, just begins tapping the top of the hat, and it's just a veritable like atrium of bugs just become to pour out. But yeah, so you had a peaceful day's worth of travel. There is a nice like little spot that has already been made up as a campsite, and there doesn't appear to be anybody there. Do you wish to use this spot as your site for camping for the evening?
Don't see why not.
No, we keep going. Yes.
Trudge through. Everybody gets a level of exhaustion. This is called the Cave of the Departed and the Cave of the Tired. Alrighty. So you guys set up camp here in the campsite, and would any of you like to take a watch, or would you just like to go to sleep and call it a night?
Squirrel will take first.
Okay. Do you
As
wish to
always,
have
Violet's on
anybody-
passive.
Yeah. Do you wish to have anybody accompany you, or do you just wish to, kind of leave everybody at peace?
That's up to everybody else. If anybody wants to join me, or if they want a nap, it's cool. I don't give a shit.
I think Violet's on passive, and then Scorb's on first, and Serena will be on second.
Okay.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
Alrighty.
And then Serena will cast create food and water so we don't have to keep eating rations all the time.
Okay. So you guys have a hearty meal.
Yes.
before you divvy up responsibilities, and Scorb, you will have the first watch, and then Violet, what is your passive again?
12.
12. Okay, Scorb, roll me a perception check.
Absolutely. 14.
14. This campsite is easily one of the safest ones you've been in recent months.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
It is. There are pre-built structures. Like, they're not lean-tos. They're more like shacks.
Mhm.
In order to kind of keep the elements at bay, but like there's no like bed inside of them. You guys can just roll out your bed rolls, and you just sleep on the ground. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
They have a fire pit inside, so that way, if the weather were to become too adverse, you at least have a means to keep yourselves warm, or to at least provide yourselves with some cooked food as a means of such. But you also have a fire pit outside as well. Um, there is a well where you can draw water from. Like this was clearly a planned like thing. Like some
Yeah.
people took time to set this up. It is so for you. It is probably the most like secure. It's a proper campsite. It is the most secure that you have ever felt being out and about in recent months. Uh, and on a 14, you don't detect sort of any dangers outside of like the typical wildlife. Oh, like oh, you see like a small scorpion here, and or like you see a spider there, like, but nothing like, but like they're not giant versions like what you're used to. you know
Yeah.
it's peaceful. And as you step outside to do your patrol, I would ask Scorb specifically, do you take the time to take flight for just a moment?
Not typically. I tend to stay close to the camp during my watches.
Okay. Um, you notice that like now that you're not like always on edge right now,
Yeah.
kind of like doing your patrol, it's the first time in a very long while you've had a moment and you look up at the stars and you just realize how beautiful the night sky is.
Oh, thank goodness. That's so lovely.
Is there anything going through Scorb's head as he gazes upon the stars?
I think for once he's just trying to relax as much as he can. He knows that there's a lot of work up ahead. He knows that it's going to be a tough time. He's just trying to take solace in what little moments he can find.
Enjoy the little things, as it were.
Yeah.
Does Scorb have any inclinations or like sort of like expectations uh going to the Cave of the Departed, like for him personally?
Not really. He's not really sure what to expect or anything along those lines. He's just kind of taking it as it comes right now.
Mm-hmm. So there's nobody he's hoping to see there?
Not that he can think of. His mom and dad are still alive and well. His friends are all, as far as he knows, still intact. Squarb's never really dealt with death outside of his job, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, you take this time to really just breathe, um, and sort of process everything. And at the end of your patrol, you find there are no issues. There's no enemies about. Nothing's trying to come out at you in the middle of the night. It's genuinely nice to just not have something attack you for once.
Excellent. I'll go wake Serena up for her watch and buckle down for my rest. Nothing out there this evening. At least not that I saw.
Oh, that's good.
Take some time to look at the stars if you get a moment.
I'll do that.
They're
Thank you.
beautiful tonight.
Have a good rest, Gordon.
I'll try.
All right. Serena, as you change shifts, do you do anything to prepare yourself for your patrol?
No, she's gonna do her patrol and then she has something she'll do afterwards once she like kind of returns to the main camp to just kind of keep an eye out on things. But
Certainly.
for the patrol, she's just looking out.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Let's go 26.
26. It's very similar to what I told Scorb. Though you haven't traveled quite as long as Scorb and Violet have in terms of just being together as the party, you can you have this sort of insight with people where you can just tell how weathered they are. It kind of comes. It's almost part and parcel with being a mortician. You kind of can just read a person's body and realize the kind of life they live without having to ask too many questions. And you can tell that even with Violet's undead nature, it has been an exhausting journey in the time that you all have been together between that time, and and I would say that there's a sense of relief just knowing that they're alive.
Yeah. There's also a pang of like sort of guilt
Right.
because they went through so much to bring Serena back. And it's just like she can't help but wonder how different things would have been if she hadn't thought she needed to protect everyone, pick up the sword so nobody else could.
Right.
She just kind of sits with that for a minute.
I guess that does answer the question of what's going through Serena's head during her patrol.
Yeah.
Is Serena expecting anything on the way to the cave of the departed?
Not on the way, but like once they get there, she's like fully expecting to see many of her like ancestors just bombard her and just is like, this is gonna be a lot. I also need to do an apology, but I don't know if I want to do it now or wait until after this.
Are you referring to like after this journey, or
After the Cape of the Departed, like she's contemplating praying to Solane, even though she knows he won't respond. And just be like, yeah, she'll do it. So she just kind of kneels down once she knows everything's hunky dory and she can relax.
On a 26, you can clearly tell there's nothing happening.
Yeah, she gets on her knees and just kind of goes into a praying stance and just closes her eyes, focuses on the wind, just goes, "Hey, Solane, I know you're, at least I got the sense, you're not too pleased with me. I'm gonna guess it's because of me kind of spilling the beans that everything was not okay to the other gods. I do apologize for that. It was not my place to say that. However, I don't know if you would have. And that's kind of why I did it. When you're alone all the time, it's easy to get stuck in a mindset of, I know what's best. I need to protect others. If I know something, I'm the only one who can solve it. I'm the only one capable of fixing it. But growing up with a tribe, growing up with family, growing up with all that, I don't know how much spirits keep you company that much. I don't know if you like talk with them, just talk. But you kind of learn that it's a lot easier to depend on others and a lot easier even if you have grievances with each other, even if you don't per se like each other that much. it helps to rely on others like that because they have strengths that you don't. That's where I was coming from when I spoke about that. I do appreciate you protecting me specifically from Solneus. That was the name. I'm doing my best to be more in tune with the religious side of things. I'm thankful for you, Selene. And I'm thankful that you have my back, even if you're angry at me right now. I hope you're not. We'll get this sorted out. We'll save Golion.
Roll me a religion check using your wisdom modifier.
All right. 16.
As you stand up from your prayer and you stretch your body, and you look up at the stars, you're unsure if Selene received your message, yet alone if he'll respond.
Yep.
As
Totally
you gaze
fine.
upon the stars, you do see a streak of light head towards the Cave of the Departed. How you interpret that is up to you.
Well, it's as good a sign as any. I'll take it.
Okay. But
And she'll
otherwise,
just kind of
yeah. But otherwise, your patrol shows no signs of trouble.
all right. She'll just watch the sunrise then.
Violet, roll me a history check.
15.
Now roll me a percentile.
Ooh, okay. 61.
Violet, as you are sort of in your catatonic, half-awakened state, memories begin to flash. You see a woman, and you can't really recognize if it's you, but you are at least in the perspective of somebody who used to be alive, and it's clear that you recognize this woman. You both are laughing, enjoying yourselves. I'm going to ask, do you wish to push the memory out, or do you wish to delve deeper into the memory?
And I clearly recognize it as some kind of memory.
It's like when you pull from a memory of your past life. It's a very vivid memory, but instead of like trying to pull a skill or maybe like a trick of a trade, this is just a memory that is just randomly triggered while you're in a catatonic state.
I'll push deeper.
Okay. Roll me another percentile.
40.
Good. The memory. Have you ever had a I guess a better question. Have you ever had a lucid dream? Where like you're fully cognizant and aware of that this is in fact a dream, but you're still in REM sleep, and like you can fully manipulate yourself the entire time.
I personally have not,
Okay.
but I've heard of it. I know of it.
Okay. Well, this is effectively what you're having. You're having a pseudo lucid dream. Like you are you are fully cognizant that you are at least processing a memory, but you are not in full control of it. Um,
Mhm.
so, but you do recognize is that this is the closest thing you have to dreaming. It's just your memories coming back through time.
Mhm.
Um, and you uh you start to make out voices and you begin to uh the world around you begins to slowly get brighter, as if the color is slowly being saturated back into the picture of your mind. um you begin to hear the crackling of the fire that lights the room. You can feel the fabric of the clothes that you wear, and this is probably the weirdest feeling for you. You can feel heat, like not like an intense heat, but like a warmth wrap you. And as you look upon your hands, you gaze at flesh and blood hands, and you can feel your heart beating rhythmically. What is going through your head as you are experiencing this in this sort of like quasi real mental state?
Um. Uh. Let's see. That's difficult without being the player here. Let's see. Uh, she's overwhelmed, Violet, by the new sensations, things that she's gotten used to not feeling: heat and a heartbeat and breathing and the feeling of blood going through veins.
It's weird. It feels heavy.
It's yeah, she's so acutely aware of the movement of a living body.
Mm-hmm. As you as you continue to process the weight of your personage, um, you 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 hear the sounds of laughter surround you, and you see yourself standing at beside a door that is closed, and you see that woman that I spoke of, and she seems to just be bantering with a gentleman over a counter. Though you can't quite make out words, you do realize that they are at least on friendly terms. Beside you stands a small Genasi girl that you recognize as a water Genasi. Very rare sight
You
to
just
see.
you dropped out for half a second, or I dropped out for half a second.
Where?
Standing beside a small
Oh, a small water Genasi girl.
water genasi. Okay.
Yeah. Um, roll me. Yeah, roll me another history check.
All right. 4.
Oh,
It's strange. You recognize this to be the water Genasi girl, but her face is completely blurred. Uh, sort of like there's a gap in your memory. Roll me percentiles one more time.
10.
Okay. Try as you might, you can't place a name or a face, but you recognize this
Oh.
as a good.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Did I just drop?
Yeah.
yeah.
Weird. On my OBS, it says I haven't.
Seems like it's more of a Discord thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a Discord thing. Give me one sec. Oh? Is now the time you wish to fuck with me, Discord? Wonderful. I too
Come on,
wish
we're
to fuck around-
final. It's been a year, and it's
Yeah.
ah.
Of course, now is the time you wish to fuck around and find out, Discord. Well, that's fine. I too wish to play this game of cat and mouse. Note that I will win. I have ways. I have notes. Ah, never mind. Discord, you seem to have the upper hand here. I will leave you to it, and I'm going to assume that everything is going to function as intended until something drastically changes.
I'm just gonna try and reconnect real quick, just in case.
Sure.
You know, hopefully that helps.
Here's hoping, because my Discord has a gray screen.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was me trying to go to the options.
Oh.
I may have to restart my computer later. But as far as OBS is concerned, it's reading my mic, it's reading your guys' mics, which means everything's fine. As far as the
Everything's fine enough.
recording-
Let's
everything
go.
is fine enough as far as the recording is concerned. We're gonna keep pushing through. Uh, where was I? What you last heard? What was the last thing you heard?
I just said rolled 10.
Okay, cool. Try as you might, you can't place a name or a face on this Water Genasi girl, but you do recognize her to be someone of great importance to you, at least on some level. But beyond that, it seems that this memory of this girl is clouded, obscured, as if it has been erased somehow. And as you look up, the faces of the woman and the gentleman across the counter, their faces are blurred as well. What do you wish to do?
Try to focus on the Genasi right next to me.
Okay.
Moving is too much, but turning is not.
Okay. Make a wisdom. Make a wisdom check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
That's a nat 1.
Yeah.
I'll keep that.
You keep it?
Yeah.
Okay. Try as you might, the more you struggle, the harder this mental block
Uh-oh.
becomes. It begins to solidify, and your vision begins to blur before over time it becomes a
That was
void.
like the worst time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Are we fully gone?
No, you guys are still clear on my side.
Okay. Well, at the very least, chat can hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my connection says it's clean. Give me one moment. I'll reconnect.
That's so
Okay.
weird.
Super Kami Guru allows this.
If that gets recorded, awesome. Go Team 4-star.
It did record.
Perfect.
Yippee.
Yeah. So again, where did I leave off for you?
Try as you might. and
Try
then
as you
cut out.
might. Yeah.
I love the internet. It's wonderful devices. Try as you might, your mind continues to create these mental barriers pushing you back, breaking you from your pseudo lucid like state. And the harder you fight, the more powerful the barriers become until eventually your vision blackens, and all becomes a blur. And as you uh, mentally awaken from your memory, day breaks. As the second day dawns, and Serena enters into the room. What do you do?
I'm sort of still just like reeling a bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not quite like aware, I suppose.
Right. It would be a
Oh,
discourtesy of me to not ask this, especially given the revelation you just had. Is Violet expecting anything when she makes her way to the Cave of the Departed?
She's trying not to get her hopes up.
Okay. What were you going to say, Serena? I apologize.
oh, you're fine. I think Serena, on seeing Violet kind of like more groggy than usual in her perception, is just kind of gonna kneel down in front of her. Hey, Violet, you alright?
Hmm?
You okay?
Oh, um, we'll see.
Do I need to do an examination?
Uh, physically, I'm fine. I don't think you could do much for me anyway.
Hmm.
Um, this
Super
town.
Kami Guru allows this.
Welcome back.
Discord just decided to restart without my permission.
Yippee!
Love that for you.
We're gonna keep pushing for another 30 minutes, see where it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Where was I?
I was asking if you need an examination.
I physically, I'm fine. Yeah, I don't think you could do much for me anyway. If I
Mhm.
wasn't, at least without magic.
Okay. Just keep me informed, okay?
I will when I know how to.
Okay. Let's get bird brain up.
So, as you awaken Squarb to prepare yourselves for the next day's travel, I will ask specifically, Serena, did you want to take time to change your spells?
Uh,
Or are you good enough? Every long rest, I'm going to have to ask you this every once.
yeah, I do appreciate the reminder. No, I'm pretty good.
Alrighty.
Oh wait, no, there is one I want to change out. I'll change it out as we go.
Okay, yep. So then, as you three continue on, who would like to roll the next day's travel, the final day's travel?
I think it'll be me this time.
Yeah.
Just need 20, right?
Yep, just a flat d20.
It's a 12. We
Online.
find another sword.
Serena, as you and your group continue up the trail, you come across a few travelers. They are lightly garbed. They are just carrying around some very light rucksacks, and They appear to be no more older than maybe the lot of you, give or take your relative
Hmm.
age.
Do they look like just they're coming from the cave to the cave?
They're coming from the cave,
Okay.
by the looks of it.
Well, Serena goes up. Hey, Ryu. Now that being sensitive to ask, she says, "What brings you out on this fine day?" There we go. That's how you. That's how you talk.
That's how you swing a conversation with a lighthearted conversation topic. Icebreakers, learn them. Are you making a pilgrimage up to the cavern?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
close enough.
Are you as well?
just returning, actually.
How'd it go?
It was enlightening.
I'm
And-
glad to hear it.
And though it saddens me to know that they are gone from the physical plane, I know that that Kabu is watching over them, and that Selene will guide their souls back to the wheel of reincarnation.
He will.
As we hope he does for us all.
Yes. I hope you all find solace in what you see in the cavern.
We'll find something at the very least.
Best of luck to you then. And
Thank
they
you.
begin to make their way down the trail. It might help to offer something as a reminder to the ones who have departed.
Thank you.
Before he makes his way out with the rest of his group. But otherwise, a clean day's worth of travel. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to take a quick break here, because I'm going to figure out what's going on with my router.
That's fine.
So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, let's see if this works. Okay, so check my router. Router's good. Check to see if
Good.
there was any outages in my area. Nope, that's not the case. So it might just be the machine spirits are angry in my computer, and I need to purify them.
Shrine,
Maybe.
Damn.
build a
But-
shrine.
Build a shrine. Gotta get the sensors and fill them with incense. I'll
Don't
take.
forget the little baggie of chips.
Yeah, I'll feed the gremlins inside the computer later. But yeah, no. I'm so sorry. What a weird episode we're having right now. There's a lot of weird technical issues. But yeah, we should be good right now. Discord hasn't collapsed on me again, so let's push forward just a little bit more.
All right.
So you finally arrive at the Cave of the Departed. The first thing you'll note is the ornate decorations that line the entrance to the cave. You see what looks to be a vulture's skull serve as a keystone in the at the top of the cave entrance, and then along the edges are various adornments related to death or passing. There's bone chimes that hang overhead, and there are like bits of feather that are tied to poles that hang out of the wall, and just off to the side you'll see two braziers that are light that emit these vibrant purple flames.
Ready.
You see there is a small crowd of people, maybe no more than like 15, 20 people at most, and they are all saying prayers aloud before they make their way in individually. Inside the cave, you'll see that each of these, I guess the best way to call them pilgrims is the best way to put it. Each of these pilgrims grabs a torch and lights it with one of the flames upon the braziers before they enter. So the only light you see is that bright purple flame at the top of the torch as they go deep into the cave before disappearing into the darkness.
Well, we know what to do.
I suppose we'll follow.
Yep.
Okay. Who do you pray to, or what do you pray to?
Hmm.
Uh,
I will say, with all of your passive perceptions, I just checked it out. You all hear people pray to different things, to different people. Some of them are praying to loved ones. Others are praying to deities. And then some of them are just sort of like doing a catch-all.
right.
You know, where they're just kind of like one of them says, please guide me safely back to the land of the living as I enter the realm of the deceased, before they grab a torch and make their way in. So the question still stands: who or what do you pray to?
I will pray to my ancestors. Both the ones that I lost in my tribe and the ones who came before them.
Okay. Scorp, Violet.
I suppose just offer a quick thank you to Anwa Balora.
Okay. What of you, Violet? Who or what do you pray to?
The siblings of death.
Okay. Do you each grab a torch?
Might as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a place to leave an offering?
There is. There is just before you enter, there's a small plinth where a bowl stands, and you see what looks to be a they're not elderly, but they're wizened, is the best way to put it. And they look to be of some sort of like member of the cloth is the best way to put it. They have this they have these silver hairs across their face and head. The most distinguishing feature is their pronounced bovine-like features, their rounded face, and these large ears that protrude past with tufts of fur inside of them. They appear to be hunched over, but you can clearly tell that if they were to stand upright, this man would stand a solid 7, maybe 8 feet in height.
Damn.
The robes he wears is clearly very wide on him, as they sort of just drape over him like a kid wearing a curtain. But you can tell that he is wearing holy vestments, and around his neck are 12 symbols that hang, with the center one being a bird's skull. And then as the people pass by him, he simply places a large hand on the person's shoulder, and then he says, and then all he simply says is, "May you return to us safely," before letting them go. And you can see as they leave, they seem to be encased in a veil of divine magic.
Serena's gonna approach and greetings. I don't know. You probably serve all the gods, don't you?
Yes, it is. I find it helps those who come here that I do not worship a singular god or goddess.
That makes sense. So long story short, I'm sort of here on a pilgrimage with my companions. I I'm the chosen of Selene. And Serena, nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you as well.
Um, what typically do people offer? Like parts of memories or like objects, money? I'm just trying to
Whatever
the
they,
right-
whatever they can. Alms for to kind of help maintain the cave in its splendor. Decorations. Sometimes people offer food and wine. Whatever they can.
I see. Uh, Serena is gonna pull out 45 gold and put in the offering box.
Okay. As your gold plinks into this metal bowl, um, it kind of like clinks about with all the other knickknacks and baubles that are there. Um, and you see that the bowl widens naturally, ever so slightly, as each coin falls.
Oh, fancy.
We thank you for your donation. And then he reaches his hand over to your shoulder. May you return to the land of the living after your journey. And then you feel this divine energy wash over you, as if you are being protected.
Huh. I I suggest you guys make an offering.
Um, I guess so. I will. Um, I will also put in roughly 50 gold.
Okay. Once more, as the coins begin to plink about within the menagerie of whatever is in the bowl, it begins to deepen once more to kind of accommodate the excess material inside. And once more, this Furbolg priest reaches over, and then he realizes that you are undead. But you can see that he realizes that you are undead, and he goes, "May you return to the land of the living, and I hope you find the answers that you seek." And then you are enshrouded in this divine energy, yet you are not harmed by it, and in fact you feel protected by it.
Oh, I didn't consider that. I'm glad you're okay, Violet.
I mean, I've experienced worse. If it did.
And then when Scorb comes back, we will see what he does. But after you two have received your blessing, do you make your way in?
Um. Yeah.
Okay. As you step inside, purple torch ablaze, you realize that the light is shining against these crystalline walls as you enter the cave. It's almost like stepping into a jewel or like glass.
Ah,
As the flames flicker about, the light kind of refracts back, sort of like a mirror. And as you step through, you both feel this eerie presence sort of enwrap you, but it doesn't seem to ever be able to reach you.
does
And,
this feel familiar to me?
in what way are you hoping it feels familiar? I guess is the better question.
I mean, does it feel like when I was just a little mote, just chilling out with Selene in the spirit realm?
Not in the same way.
Okay.
In the sense where, like, you know, you didn't have a physical form.
Yeah.
But in this way, it sort of feels like you're in this sort of void-like space
Ah.
where there are no directions except for forward and back.
I see.
And as you continue down this crystalline cavern, you begin to realize you haven't encountered any other pilgrims along the path.
Is Violet still with me?
Roll a perception check.
Yep. 18.
As you turn around, you realize that your torch is the only light source guiding you.
Ah. Aha. I see. Well, I came back once before, so let's keep going.
Fair enough. Violet, as you are traveling and you begin to realize that eerie feeling around you, it's very unfamiliar. And as you kind of turn away for just but a brief moment to check your six, as you are wont to do, when you look back, you realize that Serena is no longer beside you, and that you are left alone with your torch and the darkness around you in this crystalline cave.
Okay. Well, what's there to do but keep going?
Okay? As you both march forward deeper into the cavern, voices begin to be heard, though their words are imperceptible until you go deeper into this cavern. The light of your flame begins to flicker, almost sputter at times, as if small gusts of wind that only the flame can detect begin to pass through it.
Mm.
You do not feel a breeze. As you both continue to travel, you begin to see reflections within the cavern walls. Myriad of people that are not you begin to reflect themselves. But just as quickly as you see them, the light flickers and returns back to you. For Serena, you see various members of your tribe for but a brief instance before the light flickers in and out. And then you are back to seeing yourself in the flames light. For Violet, you see the image of your master, Manas al Farad, and then as it flickers, you then see the members of the necromantic order of Blasvitan before they flicker out. And then, in the briefest of instants, you see an unknown man, an unknown woman, and a small child whose faces are blanked out, but you recognize their figures. These are the same three figures that you saw in your memory the other night, but they have no faces.
Um, Violet is hmm. Violet keeps walking, clearly shaken, but not quite um running, but not running after it.
Okay.
Do the figures, the ancestor or tribesmen, do they appear like when the light is the flame is like shining brightly or dimly?
It changes.
Okay,
It's just something that like a strike of lightning. You see images
see.
before the light flickers once more, and then you see yourself.
I see. Okay, so that wouldn't do anything. All right, keep moving forward.
Okay. As Scorp comes back, we're gonna just retroactively bring him into the fold.
Yep.
Scorp,
Hello.
this Furbolg priest, who has these 12 icons hanging from his neck, he has already blessed both Serena and Violet before they made their way into the cavern. They both left a donation, but you did notice that not everybody left a donation, and he still blessed people the same. Do you wish to follow your friend's path?
Absolutely, I've got no reason not to leave a donation. I'll give him. I'll donate a couple of gold coins.
Okay. How much do you wish to donate?
We'll go with 2 gold
Okay. He
because that's not a small amount still.
Yeah, so as you drop the 2 gold, you realize that the bowl that holds all of these donations, because there's various things. There's food, there's wine skins, there's trinkets, and obviously coin is in here, various donations. But as your 2 coins plink into the bowl, you notice that the bowl begins to slightly deepen, as if being put under pressure by the weight of your coin.
Hmm.
And then he reaches his hand over to your shoulder, and he goes, "May you safely return to the land of the living." And you feel this divine energy envelop you, as if protecting you.
Lovely.
As you step into the cavern with your torch alight, you realize that the lining of the walls are crystalline, and it's almost like stepping into like a house of mirrors, or like you're stepping into a gemstone,
Mhm.
where everything just kind of slightly refracts the light away and back to you to give you a reflection.
Oh, very nice.
As you begin to step forward, you realize you weren't stepping that far, like time-wise, away from your companions. But the deeper you go into the cavern, the more you realize you have yet to encounter them or see any other lights. It's just you and your torch in this dark crystalline cavern.
Hmm.
What do you wish to
Interesting.
do?
I keep pressing forward.
As you step forward, Scorb, you begin to hear voices, though you can't make out what they're saying. And the deeper you go, you start to realize that the flame begins to flicker, almost sputter, as if there's a wind blowing only against it, but you feel no breeze.
Hmm.
And as the flames begin to flicker and sputter about, you see reflections in the wall that are not your own. People you have met, people you have encountered. You see, at one point, former academy mates from the Knights Academy that you attended as a child. They flicker out immediately before you see the scores of Skara Aldin that were taken from you nearly half a year ago, in the assault of the Skara Aldin of Blasphatan. Before that flickers out, you then begin to see the faces of your wingmates, both Persephone and Minaj, before they flicker out. What's going through your head?
Persephone and Minaj? In the Cave of the Dead? That's... I don't like that. I assume I would have received some kind of update or something letting me know. How we weren't how shit. I need to go home. Squirm immediately turns around.
Okay. I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me as you turn around.
That is a 13.
Okay. As you begin to walk back the way you came, you begin to clearly hear voices. A cacophony of 1,000 voices begin to fill the cavern, as if you were in a crowded market space. You can't
Hmm.
make out individual voices, but they all begin to echo at different cadences, at different, different timings, but they're all saying roughly the same thing. Stay. Going to take 3 points of psychic damage. And for a brief moment, you are compelled to stay where you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll follow the compulsion then.
As you are standing here within this cavern, the light sputters once more. And this time, you see Commander Lee fully garbed up, a rare sight, and his axe is drawn. And just as he raises his axe, the light sputters, and his visage disappears once more.
Even Lee? What the hell's going on? This is supposed to be where I meet the souls of the dead. Is this what it's like for everybody?
What do you wish to do in this moment?
Squarb's racking his brain trying to come up with any kind of answer that would explain what he's looking at right now. It's been some time since he's been back to see his wingmates and his captain. He hasn't seen them since the last time we left Blazatan.
It's about, like you saw him over the last month.
Yeah,
So it's very
but
weird that you would see him, I guess is the best way to put it.
yeah, no, the last time we saw them was just before they were about to take off for the military exercise.
Mm-hmm. Do you wish to continue going deeper, or do you wish to retreat from the cave?
Squarb takes a deep breath, steels his nerve, and says, "Fine. Let's see what else there is to see," and continues to step forward.
Yeah.
Okay. The three of you continue to step forward. Flashes of people you've all met begin to appear. If Lumi was here, this would be a lot more impactful, but you see the images of, for you and Violet, specifically Scorb, you see Dame Ordella, and you see behind her the band of goblin knights that she trains, and they flicker out. For Serena, you see, fucking forgot their name, and I have them right in front of me. One moment. You see Lily and Jeremy, your half-elf teenage workers who run stiffs and boards in your absence. Before they flicker out. Violet, you don't really know how this affects you, but you see Hansy, Sweeper, the skeleton sweep, and Facade, the homunculus, before they disappear in a sputter of light.
And she sees Mr. Bones 1 just in a pile on the floor.
You see Mr. Bones 1, 2, and soon in the future Mr. Bones 3. Just all a pile of bones.
Oh, they'll be fine.
They'll pick themselves up. You all you all see this one catches Serena off guard. But you all see the orphans that you rescued at these respite.
Oh.
Serena, I need you to make an insight check.
Oh, okay. 13.
13. you've heard stories
Yeah.
from Scorb and Violet and Lumi of the time they rescued a bunch of orphans. You assume this to be them
Okay.
before they all flicker out. You see, the three of you see Etna, then Titan, then I forgot my own favorite character's name.
Or not Manas. Shoot, I have his
Kassar?
name.
Kassar,
Yes.
thank
Kassar.
you. And Kassar, one by one, before they all flicker out. How do you all react to these images?
I think Serena has a moment of like sort of at at least what makes sense in her head of being like, oh, it's whoever we interact with, whoever is tied to us, we're seeing them. It's not that they're dead, it's that it's just kind of we're connected at this point. She's fine. She's not panicking. She's just like, it's not that they're dead. It's that more, it's just they're part of us.
Mm-hmm.
Violet is waiting, bracing herself.
Is this everybody who's going to die if we fail?
Three different perspectives. Yet you all walk the same path. Eventually, you all come into a large central chamber where you see the other pilgrims who came before you, standing in a circle where there's a large, almost bonfire-esque brazier of purple flame that sits between all of them. You each come out of separate tunnels. What do you do?
Are the pilgrims? Do they have? Are they holding the torches, or did they look like they threw them in the bonfire?
It looks as though that the torches have been put out, but they still have the torches like the unlit torches by their side.
Gotcha.
They're just more admiring the fire in front of them.
I'll look to Violet and Scorb. How are you guys holding up?
A little confused, but otherwise all right.
Okay, Violet.
Roughly the same, I think.
Well, shall we join the congregation?
Probably yes.
I suppose so.
As you three step into the circle, you see that there's another robed figure, a tiefling woman with dark purple skin and horns shaped like a ram's that curl behind her head. She presents you with what looks to be a bowl that has black sand in it, and she brings it to you, and she says, do you wish to douse your torch and bathe in the light of the flame?"
Insight check real quick.
Yeah.
Sure, what are you inciting?
Is
Is
like,
is doing so harmful to us in any way?
yeah, is she misleading us?
It's a little hard to gauge based on a single sentence. I'll let you do an insight check on other people to kind of
Okay.
like to kind
Yeah.
of gauge the group instead of just her as an individual.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. I'll make it a group insight check.
Ah, damn, 7.
Fuck 12.
Not one.
My my investigators, guys, are preem investigators, by the way.
We're
yeah, we're
really
great
good
at
at our
insight.
job.
None of us have.
By the way.
none of us have insight as a proficiency.
I do actually.
Oh, you do. Oh, your wisdom is
yeah.
just bad, huh?
My wisdom is real bad. It's
Oh.
+0.
Oh,
So I'm getting my proficiency bonus for my wisdom for my insight checks, and that's it.
that's very funny.
Yeah, no, Squarb was made to be a fighter who just kind of wound up here.
My players play roleplay characters. I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I can do an intimidation check.
The undead girl can intimidate real good though.
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
I could do a strength save.
She can mean mug a guy to drop their weapons and their pants.
We mean mug the skeleton into not attacking us.
You mean mugged multiple skeletons. They don't even have a collective consciousness. Anyways, as far as you all understand it, this is just another ritual of sorts. You can see that none of the other pilgrims are, at least as far as you understand it, they don't seem to be like, they don't have like the glazed over eyes of like they're being possessed or something, or no, they
Gotcha.
seem fairly cognizant of their surroundings, but they all just seem to be sort of in a pseudo meditative state.
Gotcha. There's no centipede motif anywhere.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Sure. I'll douse my flame.
Yeah.
I will as well.
As the three of you douse your flames into the black sand, you see that bits of the flames sort of still linger on the sand before she faces away from you, giving you a nod of acknowledgement before going towards the pyre, effectively, of what it is now, and then she blows the embers into the large pyre, causing it to flare up momentarily.
Cool.
And then as she makes her way back to you, she goes, "May the flame of remembrance guide you on the path forward," before she makes her rounds to collect torches from the others, or at least the flames of the others that may be entering behind you.
I had an intrusive thought just now, and I'm not gonna do it, but it'd be very funny
Fair.
Mm.
because thaumaturgy can let you change the color of a flame. So I can just make it real fucked up for half a second to scare the shit out of everyone. But I'm not gonna do it.
Please don't.
It's just intrusive thought.
Be very mean.
It would
Yeah,
be
it
very
would.
mean.
Okay. So what do you three wish to do?
Take her place in the circle and
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose
follow the
we'll-
procession.
Yep.
Okay. The three of you find some space with some people kind of opening space for you. And when I say it's a circle, it's not like it's one continuous circle. It's more like a bonfire, gather around the fire and kind of just sit down and enjoy yourself sort of vibe, you know? Like pick a
There's-
spot and just kind of like that's your spot.
There's a spot, just there's a space of where the smoke goes that no one stands in front of.
Right, yeah, exactly. But as you all sit down and you gaze into as what she refers to as the flames of remembrance, I need all of you to make wisdom saving throws. You can choose to fail this.
Squarb will choose to fail.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. I did get a nat 20, but I am also considering to just choose to fail.
I'll honor that nat 20 on a future roll if you want. If you decide to choose to fail. I'll be
Okay,
nice.
sure.
I'll be nice today.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll choose to fail too.
So all of you
Let's
choose to
do it.
fail?
Jump
I
in the
think
pit
so.
together.
I think
Hands
Yeah.
across America.
It's a leap of faith.
I don't think this will kill me.
As you three
Nothing else has.
sit down side by side, you gaze into the purple flames. You feel this inner warmth. And as you close your eyes, your minds begin to wander to times of nostalgia, to times of peace, to a time before any of your adult hardships took place, any of your recent hardships took place. For Serena, it would be the time before your tribe was ransacked, before your village was attacked. A time in which you were but a child, learning the legends of your people, the ways of the desert. For Squorb, it would be reading stories of heroes of yore, of wielding that wooden sword your father got for you on your 8th birthday, of sparring with him in the yard, aspiring to be a noble knight just as he. For Violet, you have a duality, and I need you to make a wisdom check in this instance. Or not a wisdom check, I'm sorry, a history check.
You know
But-
what?
But
I think that's a 9. Yeah, that's a 9.
okay. So you're not going to use your 20 on this?
I'm considering it.
Why not?
I'm going to give you a moment.
I'm just saying, why not?
You also still have the value of 5 inspiration points at your disposal.
That too,
Yeah.
man.
I'll use the nat 20 on this.
Okay. There is a duality within your nostalgia. It is as if you are living 2 lives simultaneously. One from before your resurrection, and then one post-resurrection. Before your resurrection, you are seeing a vision of you and this unnamed woman traipsing about the city streets, taking out thugs and earning coin on the side while doing so, reveling in drinks and good food and good company. And on the other half, you awaken to mundanity, humdrum lifestyle of tending to the store, learning spells from Manas here and there in between his experiments, talking shit with Facade as various necromancers come to and fro, asking to purchase skeletons, and teaching Sweeper how to properly use a broom. These times are peaceful for all of you. They bring a sense of hope that you may have lost. They bring a sense of peace in a time of great duress. Do you continue to indulge in this warmth?
No.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Somebody had to.
Yeah.
Squorb and Serena, I need you both to make wisdom saving throws. You both will have a +2 to your saves in this instance.
That is 13.
13.
Oh god. That's a 28.
Okay, I was about to say, Serena, if you rolled anything lower than a 12, I'm gonna smack you.
I have a plus 9 with that.
Like
No, I
that,
should.
that's like by all rights, as the cleric of the party, I've seen your wisdom stat. Ain't no
Yeah.
shot you roll lower than a 12. I gave you a plus 11. Okay, so you both awaken from your nostalgia. And it's in this moment you both realize that you are crying. Whether it is joy by remembering the good times, or acceptance for remembering what you once lost, or any other reason that you might think that you would feel this way. There is a sense of comfort knowing where you came from. And as you look to your left, both of you realize that Violet has not awoken from her nostalgia.
I'm not gonna worry about it just yet. Give her time.
Violet, I will give you a choice in this moment. Of the two lives that you are deeply enriched in right now, which one do you dive into more? Which one do you succumb to nostalgia? The life you had, or the life you have?
I need to know what happened.
Okay.
What have I lost?
Okay. It's at this time I'm going to ask you to roll me a percentile. You want to roll high.
Ooh. 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 Come on.
63.
Nice.
63 is on the high end. Violet, as you block out your current life to make way for the life you had once lost, you open your mind to memories long forgotten, long lost. You begin to see a much broader picture of what once was. This woman that stands beside you, that has your back when your blades are drawn, that revels with you in good food and drink. This woman that provides you great company and great comfort. You recognize this woman as somebody of great importance to you. What is her name?
Oh. I, the player, know that.
That is what I'm asking you.
Her name is Hannah Dawnforest.
Hannah. That name echoes in your head. And as your mind begins to say that name over and over, this once faceless woman her face begins to become clearer, as if somebody is fixing the image, removing the blurriness from it, and bringing it to a crystal clear image. What is Hannah to Violet?
Um,
I'm going to ask you to do it in simple terms. Give me 3
Yeah.
keywords. What is Hannah to Violet in 3 keywords?
um, energetic.
Okay.
Uh, um, sociable.
Okay.
Kind.
Kind.
Yeah.
Okay. These traits, they resonate with you, with the name Hannah, with this woman from your life. And the two of you, Scorb and Serena, for the first time, really, you see Violet cry.
I didn't know she could do that. I don't know if this is good or not. Probably good, right?
I don't think it's our place to interfere.
Yeah, no.
Violet, as your memory continues to flow through you, do you continue to indulge in your nostalgia?
Of course.
Okay. Roll me a percentile again.
$59.
Okay. Still on the high end. What you need.
Still barely up there.
Not wanting to let go of what you've just discovered, you let your mind become awash once more. You feel this warmth envelop you, a familiar warmth. That same warmth you felt when you were flesh and blood in your dream. It's heavy as your chest begins to expand and contract with every breath. You can feel the beating of your heart, the blood flowing through your veins. Your ears are burning. You hold in your hand a mug of libations, and you're laughing. And as this memory fades, a new one takes its place. You are standing in front of Dead End Labor with Hannah at your side. You both step inside and you see your master, Manas Al-Farad, with Facade perched upon his shoulder. He greets you both with great respect. And he thanks you for taking on the job. You three leave the city of Blasvatan, and you are out and about in the desert. This memory, this trail, everything feels familiar. Everything feels like you've already done this before. and that somewhere deep in the recesses of your mind, you know exactly where you are. You all set up camp for the evening, and as Manas lays down for the night, you and Hannah sit at the campfire, waiting for dawn to rise, taking shifts every 15 minutes or so that way one of you can at least say you had a wink of sleep. I'm giving you advantage. Roll a perception check in this moment, Violet.
$21.
21. You hear a war horn bellow out through the night. Both Hannah and Manas arise from their slumber as you draw your blade and Hannah draws hers. Manas quickly conjures up a large skeletal lizard that begins to wrap and overlay him to form a sort of suit of armor made out of the lizard's bones. As he summons forth his summoning foci, his staff, you see a legion of bandits crest over the dunes. And up above, you see 5 cloaked figures with the bandit leader wielding the war horn. Another resounding war horn bellows out. You start to realize not only are you outnumbered, you're simply just outmatched. You have no steeds at your side. All you have is the equipment with you and your client. Though you don't fully remember why you're out here, you do know how this battle ends. Do you see it through to the end?
No,
You wish to pull away?
I have to.
Okay. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
10.
As you try to pull away, you realize you're in too deep. You can't escape your memories. You can't escape what you need to know. Manas casts a spell on the two of you. You feel emboldened, empowered, before he tosses out these flaming skulls that cackle into the night sky to try to provide some means of dispersal. War mounts descend from the dunes as they draw their spears and ready to attack you as a mounted force. You both rush in order to, an attempt to protect your client as he begins to summon forth skeletal soldiers to fight on your behalf. But it takes time, and your goal is to afford him that time. Both you and Hannah fly out and present yourselves as these whirling dervishes of steel, slaying many mounted soldiers, bringing both steed and rider low. But they are too many, and it's only a matter of time before the second wave of mounted soldiers comes down and tries to take you out. As at this time, you hear the clanking metal behind you as Manas has had time to summon forth a loyal soldier of his own. A skeletal being clad in dark armor, with a large sword at his side and a mighty steed underneath him. You recognize this as a Death Knight. Beside him is an army of skeletons that he had spent time exhaustively summoning. Your reinforcements have arrived. You have this feeling that it is too late. For as you are about to sigh a breath of relief, you hear a scream of pain, and as you turn to your right, you see Hannah has been impaled by a spear. A rider atop his mount sat above her. Before you have time to react, the two forces begin to cave in on each other. And as the last thing you see Hannah being impaled by another spear, by another horseman. And as you scream out in pain and in anger, you feel your voice lost. You feel your body become heavy, and you feel your heart stop. And as you look down, you yourself see that you have been impaled by a spear of your own. And as your vision fades and you reach out to Hannah, darkness consumes your vision. And the memory ends. Violet, you awaken in the equivalent of a cold sweat. Tears have streaked your eyes. You didn't even realize you could cry. But you are tear-stricken. And it is at this moment that I have to ask you to take a level of exhaustion.
Violet, are you alright?
Yes.
Let's get you up.
As you three stand up, you realize that the rest of this congregation is still growing. Some people have left, some people have replaced them, and they begin to get lost in their nostalgia. Violet is visibly shaken. As her companions, what do you wish to do? And as a group, what do you wish to do? Do you continue your journey through the cavern, or do you make your way back?
Scorb.
If there's more to see, I'd like to see it.
Scorb.
Yes.
Violet can't do this.
I think that's up to Violet.
Why here?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What left me here?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Violet is clearly like shaken beyond words past that.
Squarb looks to Serena. All right, you're right. Let's go.
You guys go back.
Yeah, I
I
do want to see. I want to see more, but I'm not going to make her go through this.
have things I need to figure out still.
It makes sense as the chosen one. Your presence here is.
Please, please don't. Not that word. Not that.
Don't call me that.
Well, what would you prefer
I just, I don't.
as the champion of Solane?
That's cheesy. Just,
I'll tell you what. Tell me what you want later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Solane, this is Solane's territory. Go do your thing.
all right.
I'll
She's
get
gonna,
Violet back.
Okay. She's gonna go up to Violet and just kind of kneel a little bit in front of her. When you're ready and want to talk, I'm always here to listen.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you don't drink water, but drink some water.
Now that you mention it,
All right. You guys be safe.
you too.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Don't ask that.
Yeah. Already regretting it.
I'll ask Violet once more. Do you wish, personally, do you wish to continue your journey through the Cave of the Departed?
I don't know.
We can rest here for as long as you need. We don't have to go back if you don't want to. We've got time.
And
Can
it's
we
not
go
like
back? I don't know.
it's also not like this is a one and done thing. If you guys need, or if you need to come back at a later date.
It'll be fine. You go ahead, Serena.
Okay. So if I'm understanding this correctly, Violet and Squirrel will stay behind for the time being. And Serena, you will press forward.
Yup.
Okay? As you deem yourself willing to press forward, the Tiefling Priestess shows up once more. And then she says, if you wish to continue on, reach out to the bonfire and light your torch once more. And head to where the smoke leads.
Okay. Are my companions okay to stay here?
They may stay as long as they need.
Thank you.
And she shuffles away with her bowl of black sand, leaving you that bit of advice.
Well, here I go. And she'll light the torch. And
Once more, your
Stop.
torch is alight with a purple flame.
she'll start following the smoke.
Okay. As you head towards the tunnel where the smoke filters out, both Violet and Scorb, you see the back of your companion and the light of the flame that she wields enter the darkness once more before she is out of sight. And that is where we end tonight's session. Next time, you'll continue your journeys here in the Cave of the Departed. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up and joining us once more. We hope to see you next week, where hopefully more revelations will be revealed to our investigators in due time. Stay safe. We love you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye,
Goodbye for now.
everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.